I don't know if you can hear that, but that's a lawnmower, and it seems every time I go to make one of these videos there's a lawnmower in the background. And with potential cyclone threat just off the coast at the moment, well, it's a low now, but there's going to be some interesting weather the next couple of days, maybe with a bit of rain, cloud, overcast, showers, bit of wind maybe, but it's all dying off, yet to be seen. And of course yesterday I couldn't have made this video because we had a tree, a big gum tree, or a couple maybe, across the road and up the street a little bit, being cut down and ground into little pieces all day. So yeah, let's just put up with the noise and get on with it. I want to talk today about the progress on the rebuild of Sparkles, and one other thing I might add. Have you noticed the background? I reckon I've got one of the most unique backgrounds now on YouTube. No one else has crashed microlight parts scattered in the background to the value of unspeakable dollars that need to be replaced. And I hope you like the backlit feature, as many YouTubers tend to do these days. Right, so into the main crux of the matter. The last time we looked at the rebuild, well, the exhaust smoked. So I thought I'd clean the muffler. So what happened when I cleaned the muffler? Put it all back together and this happened. Let me just bring you up to speed now with where we're up to with the project. So basically I'm still chasing a propeller, but there looks like there's a promise of one not too far away. Exactly what I want. A warp drive, but we'll see how that goes. Hopefully this pans out and then I've got a propeller. The paint, I'm waiting for some samples to turn up. They're due any time now from the manufacturer, so that we can look into making sure that we get the right colour, because apparently there's about 3 different colours that they've used over the years and they're not exactly sure what that colour is behind me. So we want to get a perfect match, of course. I've been working on a trailer. I modified it several years ago, but it wasn't quite right, so I've had a bit of time over this Christmas break to do a few more little adjustments, and I believe now that that is finished, ready for the return of Sparkles to the airport when that time comes. So that's a project done. I don't need to bore you with the details of doing that, but I might show you a picture of it later. You'll probably see it when I move Sparkles to the airport in upcoming months. And now, in this episode, we'll be looking at restarting the trike engine for the 3rd time. How will this go? Oh, one other thing. I'm making arrangements at the moment to remove the gearbox from the engine as well, so that'll be coming up soon to have it inspected and make sure nothing's bent. And if everything's good there, we believe that we should be right with the engine. But we'll look into that more thoroughly and we'll get some other tests done as well. I believe there's some non-invasive type testing that can be done. I want to make sure it's right. Don't want to ruin a perfectly good engine if that's what it is. Okay, so let's roll the intro. Episode 7, Fault Finding, Smoke Issue. And this is the current project timeline. As of this date, today is the 5th of January 2022, and this is how it stands. So if you haven't caught up, you haven't seen what's been going on, in September I had a fairly nasty aircraft crash. My beloved Sparkles, parts of it are behind me, was practically destroyed during a wind shear incident when landing on Fraser Island, not too far from here. Fairly remote though, unfortunately. Go back and check the other videos and you'll see what we've gone through to this point in time to bring her home. And in this video we're going to continue the rebuild and bring her back to life. I never thought it was possible, but everything's starting to look like we can do this, so let's get on with it. So far we have brought her home. We've done a partial strip We've redesigned the instrument panel a couple of times, and I'm very happy with the final version. I haven't actually made it. I'm waiting for parts from the factory to be able to complete that process. But the design that I've done on the computer looks promising. I showed you that in the last video. I've sorted out the wiring and how that all works, so I know how to connect everything, and everything's looking good there. And we are just waiting for some finalisation on parts, and they'll be on the freight. Hopefully they won't take forever to get here. You know, with the way things are in the world at the moment, I've got no idea what's going to happen. And now, of course, they're threatening problems with diesel supplies in Australia because of a lack of urea, which is an additive to help with pollution with diesel. Which means now they're talking about all the trucks, all the diesel-driven equipment in Australia coming to a grinding halt. What do you think that's going to do to the economy? The whole country's going to come to a standstill. I can't imagine that's going to happen, and if that does happen, I blame the government because they should have been more resourceful and capable of getting something sorted out. Why can't we make our own urea instead of relying on it coming from overseas? Anyway, don't start me. And of course, we'll start up the engine again and see how she runs in this episode. Right, after yesterday we well, we had all that smoke out of the left muffler. I've just removed the muffler and we're going to check it now and see where's the oil. So here we go. Muffler's missing. You see oil around here. Not around here, and if I put my finger inside here, it's dry, so it's just around here. If we look at the muffler, this one's dry and that one's wet. I haven't done this yet, but see what comes out. Look at that, it's oily. What about the other side? Nothing. Right, so we're going to put some petrol in there and we'll clean it out. I don't know what the answer is, but that was a lot of work, and it's getting hot and muggy again today, so I've got the muffler back on, I've cleaned it out with fuel, but these springs, I don't know what the technique is. I managed to get them on and off. I think there was more brain power than brawn needed. I don't know, if you know the technique, guys, can you just send a diagram or something, or show us the tools that you use? Because I mean, I know these move around a lot, but yeah, that wasn't easy. Okay, we'll start her up. Got the muffler cleaned out, as I said before. I'm going to start the engine, we're going to run it. Hopefully we don't see any smoke. And then after it's warmed up a bit, well, while it's warming up, we'll check the two different ignition circuits and make sure both are working and the engine's dropping the right number of RPM and everything's working properly. I don't really want to run it without the propeller for too long. I don't know if it's a good idea or not, but we won't risk it. But I also want to check then, when the engine's warm, the compressions of each cylinder, providing we don't see any oil. I mean, if we do see oil, then of course we'll need to check compressions and see what's going on and see if there is a drop in compression. But when we had it started the first time, it ran very smooth, and I don't think there's any issues with that. The spark plugs are still in, I haven't taken them out. I don't believe the oil was coming from the cylinder, I think it was already in the muffler. So let's give it a crank now and see what happens. Okay, think we've got a problem with the engine. Gonna need some help with this one. Definitely oil in the left bank. Time to take the spark plugs out. I was going to check the ignition switches then. We might just do that first, and then we'll take the spark plugs out and we'll check the compressions. But that is not a good result. It looks like there's still a problem. There's oil coming out of the cylinder. Bugger. What if I can't fix the engine, the smoke, the oil leak, the issues? What if the engine's too far gone? Where do I go from here? Well, it's still smoking, so I guess the next thing is really we need to just do a compression check of the engine and see if it's okay. Let's hope there's no blow-by anywhere in the rings and the pistons, and hopefully there's no actual internal damage, because this will bring things to a screaming halt very quickly. Okay, the ignition system is working correctly. Let's pull out the spark plugs and check the compressions. Compression on cylinder 1 is about 170. Cylinder number 3 is about 165. Cylinder number 2 is about 160. I've been thinking about this a little bit. My theory is that there's some residual oil in the mufflers even after I've cleaned them out. All I can really do is see what happens if I run it a little bit longer. The plugs, you know, the engine's running properly. I don't know what to do. I can only do what I think I can do. I'm not fully up on these engines. I mean, I've had a bit to do with them, I suppose, now, but what else can it be? Without testing it, we won't know. So at the moment, I'm just going to start it up. It's easy to do now. I've got a good instrument panel. Okay, fuel's on, oil's on, switches on, keys on. Clear prop, if you might excuse me. Okay, a little bit of, no, that'll do. And the soft start, did you notice before, the soft start actually worked as well. Might give it some choke. Too quick with the choke. Now there was one other problem I did find, and you'll see it now. That's not good. Yeah, definitely oil coming out the other side as well. Now for oil to be coming out both sides, look at that. Is it coming out there? How's it doing that? How's it doing this? Wait a minute. Ah, I've got a leaky rocker cover. That rocker cover's stuffed. Alright, well, we know there's a rocker cover needing a replacement now. Once I can get it welded up, it'll probably warp. Yeah, that's not good, eh? How many things am I going to find wrong? Is that a crack? No, that's just oil dripping. So the oil's dripping out of this, and that's running on this side. This side, I got no idea. All I can think of is it's somehow getting into the... Is it getting in the engine? Is that oil up there? Did I mention that if there's any issues with the engine that mean a lot of money and a lot of work, Sparkles will not be rebuilt? I can't. It's just not economical to pursue the project. So let's just hope that I can fix the engine issue and find out what's going on there. By the time I add a wing and an engine or an engine rebuild, you know, we're spending easy $45,000 probably, plus the labour. It's not doable. And then trying to get an engine these days will take months and months. So let's see how we go, and let's hope we can solve the engine issue. So after the compression test went okay, I decided that maybe we could break for lunch and have a cuppa and sit down and think about this a little bit. And while I did that, I went, aha. Well, I was getting quite hungry actually, and I needed some time to think about this. So I've decided my next decision, next thing to do. I still think there's oil in the muffler. I think there must have been, obviously there's still residual oil in there, and that's probably what's burning. The engine's running properly, the compressions are okay, unless an oil control ring on the piston's gone. I mean, it's a dry sump engine too, but unless something dramatically has gone wrong with one of those two cylinders, there can only be one more thing to do, and that is to remove the muffler off cylinder number 3. If you remember earlier, the oil was around the pipe that came out of cylinder 3. Cylinder 1 was dry, and the other bank's got oil on it because of the leak from the rocker cover. So and it's not smoking. So a matter of deduction just tells me that the cylinder's not blowing oil out, and it's probably still a result of the engine lying on its side for a couple of hours after the incident. And the next step, of course, without doing anything silly like starting to take cylinder heads off or silly things like that, possibly risking more damage, is to I'll just take the muffler off number 3. I can do that, as I found before when I had the muffler off, and let's see if any oil is coming out of that exhaust pipe on that cylinder. I won't be able to run it long like that. It's going to be loud, and it's going to be it's just going to be not good for the engine. It won't be balanced anyway, probably, with the muffler is removed off one cylinder. So we'll do that next. Yeah, you hear grease. Let's go and do it. One of you guys actually suggested that you had a muffler that was full of oil, and it took ages and ages. Even after cleaning it, it wouldn't stop smoking. So maybe that's just what it is. Let's go and try that now and see what happens when we start the engine without a muffler on it. I think it might be a little bit loud, so get ready for that, you people wearing headsets, headphones and whatever else is. Yeah. Man, I hate taking those springs off. Anyway, I'm probably getting used to it. You know, getting these mufflers on and off isn't easy, and those springs are very tight, as they need to be. I think I've got a technique now as to how to remove them easily without, well, breaking fingers and drawing blood, basically. If any of you guys have got better ideas on how this is supposed to work, let me know. I'll show you next time I'm putting one on as to how I'm going about that. Oh, incidentally too, the mufflers are polishing up quite nicely. I'm only halfway through it, but they're looking a lot better now. They're almost going to come up like brand new, so that'll bring a bit more bling and shine to the aircraft when it's all rebuilt, won't it? Alright, so what we're looking for is any oil coming out of here. If that smokes now, we've got to dig deeper. If it doesn't smoke now, we've got residual oil in the muffler. I'm hoping and I'm thinking that's what it is. Let's start it up. Clear prop. Choke on, throttle off. Engine stats. Holy smokes, that's scary. Let's do it again. I said it looks good to me. Definitely a muffler. It's clean. It's clean. Okay, engine's good. Thank goodness the engine is okay. So this muffler's full of, I might have to put some more fuel and let it sit for a while and see if we can't clean it out a bit better. I obviously didn't do a very good job before. Oh, isn't life so much easier when you've got an instrument panel too? Now I've just got to fix the rocket cover. I'm not sure what I'm going to do there. I can either get a new one, probably be nicer. Next time we'll be looking at the front wheel assembly. It got completely smashed off the aircraft, so we need to look at that in depth. I've ordered all the parts I think I need for it, but obviously I want to give it another thorough going over and make sure everything's ready to go for that. And we'll strip that down and have a good look in the next video. Also in the next video, in another video that's a bit of a throwback from when I was flying. It goes back probably just over a year now. DTR. Ever heard of DTR? If you're a pilot, you need to know about DTR. I call it DTR. DTR, diurnal temperature range, also known as diurnal temperature variation. Check that out. This video that I'm creating now is quite a bit of work, and I did a bit of flying and filmed it with the intention of making this video. So at the moment it's taking a while because there's a lot of information. It'll be a good resource, and hopefully it will bring some more understanding to you and me actually about thermals and temperature and wind, and turbulence of course. So yeah, that's kind of something that's a bit of a theme for me right now. Coming up this year, what I'll be doing is I'll go and get some more flight training. We'll go up with an instructor and become a bit more comfortable again and get some confidence back in flying, because at the moment I just don't know how I'd respond to the landing. I don't want to freak out, and I don't want to destroy a perfectly good aircraft as a result of not being confident. So, and it will be quite a bit of time between when I last flew in September until I fly again, which could be maybe April, May this year, 2022. And we'll be doing a wing assembly. So when the new wing, completely new wing arrives, I'll try and do a video about how to assemble, and basically, well, we don't need to see it being put away again, but because the process is very much the reversal, I'm not familiar with this myself. I'm not a hang glider pilot from the past, so putting together wings and pulling them down again is not something I'm affluent with. And of course every wing has their own quirks, and this will be the P&M wing, the strutted wing. So I want to make sure that I understand it fully. I'll be reassembling it here at home, and then I'll be of course taking it to the airport and putting it on Sparkles to fly for the first time. And we'll also be doing some flight testing when Sparkles is ready to fly, but that's maybe in May, June, sometime this year. Hopefully the weather will be calm, smooth, and I'll be able to get everything trimmed and sorted on the aircraft for its first flight back in the air in 2022. So please hang around. If you want to help me out and help me to raise some money for this project, it's costing me an arm and a left leg and whatever else you can think of, but it's worth doing. Let me just tell you that. I don't want to I can't replace the aircraft. They're about $100,000 in Australia now by the time you get one here. So it's worth rebuilding, as long as it goes according to plan and there's no more damage unseen that I'm going to have problems with. If the engine's damaged, it won't be worth rebuilding. Where was I going with this? Well, yeah, watch some of my videos. Just watch the videos. Put up with the ads. That will raise some cash. That will put some money into my YouTube account, and then I'll have that money to use towards the costs associated with building this aircraft, which after all I use to produce these videos so that you can enjoy some YouTube flying aviation videos. Without the aircraft I don't have a channel, so it sort of goes both ways there. Yeah, and by all means, please, if you know somebody else that's interested in aviation or looking to get into flying, becoming a pilot, maybe they'd like to watch the videos too, so maybe you could share them. I'm not going to ask you to subscribe. You hear that enough. And I'm not, but I would appreciate a like and a share, as I said. And thanks for watching again. Please stay tuned. There is a lot coming up. We're in a bit of a lull at the moment because of waiting for parts. There's other little things, details going on in the background that I'm just, you know, fiddling around with, trying to get sorted, trying to work out where I'm getting parts and bits and pieces and different things from. So until we resolve all that, there won't be much happening, but we are making small steps towards making this thing happen. Again, thanks so much. Happy New Year. I hope 2022 is better for all of us, especially me, but everyone. And my heart goes out to everybody that's been involved in an incident. It's not fun. I'm still going through some struggles with pain, but it's not too bad, and hopefully I will be capable of flying again soon. So again, thanks for watching. I've waffled on. Bye for now. Oh, one more thing. The mower's stopped. Did you notice? Yay!